Hey guys, welcome to the stream. It's Wednesday afternoon. How are you all doing? And today, I think what we're going to do is we're going to do something with getting out the level. Okay, so with that in mind, we are going to come out of here and we're going to have to look at our pawn. And at the end of it, we're not going to do this. Okay? What we're going to do, or what we're going to have to do, or think about doing, quality of stream not good. Not sure what that's supposed to mean, whether it should be better now. It's because I was zoomed out. Right, so this is the part where we basically finish the level. Okay? And I think we can do this in 4 different ways. Well, there's a few ways we can do this. Number 1, we can select a random spot on the map. So I think what we'll do is we'll try that first. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll say get all actors of class. And we're going to get base layout part. Okay. And then we're going to get the length. This is just our first test. We could do this as actual. We could set these up if we wanted, but we'll just do it like this for now. I'm going to move this down a bit. This is the code that shows the score widget, right? So that is going to get added, but we're going to do some stuff with the minimap, right? I'll explain it in a second once I've done this part. What I'm going to do, or at least my first idea of what it's going to do. We're going to do a -1 on that. Okay, and then we're going to get a copy of this. Plug this into here. Right, so that gives us a particular point on the map, right? And then for our very first action regarding this, or test, we shall set the location actually we're going to do a self here, self, and we're going to set the actor location. I'll try and zoom in again. Location, and actor, we're going to set the actor location. Now this isn't what we're going to do, right, but it's just to show that we're getting the correct position. This is going to be get actor location, and that is going to go in there. Then that is going to go there. Now we may need to add an X and Y value to this to put you in the center of the room, because this definitely is not the center of the room, but we can have a look at that. Okay, so when we finish a level, we're not showing our score thing anymore, we're teleporting the player to a random place on the map. Okay, so we can test this out by loading up map number 2, right, because that's not going to take us long to collect everything. And then we will actually see ourselves move. Or at least that's the idea. I'm just having a sip of my coffee here. Okay, so if we press play, and at this point, yeah, you see we're outside the map, right, but we did get teleported. So we need to see our position relating to a layout part, right, and the easiest way to find that out is if we look at the layout parts and we go to a straight, then we click on one of these, it's minus 200, 200, and that should move us to the correct position. Okay, so this is also going to relate to our, even though we're doing it for the pawn right now, right, this will still be for the thing that we want to pick up. Right, so we're going to split that, then we're going to split this, Z's going to go into Z, and then we're going to say minus, and that's going to be 200, and that's going to go into X. Now remember, this is just a test, guys, right? So this is just so, at the moment we're just using the player here. So this is going to be plus 200. Okay. So the result I am looking for here is just that the player will end up on the map but in a different position. Okay, so as soon as we show this one, there we go. Okay, so that worked fine. We'll try it once more. Once more should do us. Okay, and this time we shall do it from the other side. And that put us in the same position. Right. Hang on a second. I know that's possible. Right. I know that's possible. But it's very unlikely that that is going to happen. That put us in the same position again. Hi, Mr. Spock, how are you? Right, now, again, that is possible, but I'm not buying it. Ah, wait a minute, I'm a fool. I haven't randomised that number. Duh. Yeah, I'm always getting the same position. Duh. Right, so this is random int in range. And that one there. It's better. Okay, what I'm doing at the moment, guys, is we're going to open a portal when the player has picked up the last pickup, and we then need the player to move to that place. Right, but we're going to have to tell the player or give the player some sort of a indication of which direction that is. But firstly, that's good, Mr. Spock. Right, but the first thing is we need to do is make sure that this is working. What do you mean you streamed it for a bit? Right, so that put us right back at the start. That's probable, possible. So that's cool. Right, and that put us somewhere different, so that's cool. We'll do it one more time just to make sure. And yeah, it kind of put us on the ground. Alright, so that's a possible problem. It also tells me that these sections of the layout are not parented to it tells me that these parts are not layered. Yeah, the parent class. The parent class should be layout base, right? Yeah, streaming yourself making music would be quite nerve-wracking, I would say. Right, so now that these have got the right base part, these should become part of the equation when we actually pick up all the items, right? i.e. we can get transported to those particular positions. Now we did get transported, but we got transported back to where we were, which is possible. I want at least to be transported once into the centre somewhere. Whoa! What are we doing out there? How did we end up out there? Okay, that's weird. I'm just wondering if those middle centres are not in the right place, and every time I get try yep, I mean that works. We did get a weird error there where it actually teleported me out of the whole place. And it teleported me out again. Interesting. Okay. Now there is a couple of ways that we could sort this, but I need to find out which part it is selecting. I can only assume it's one of these parts here that's basically teleporting me out of the room. Right, so we'll do this slightly differently. What we'll do is we'll create an actor and what we'll do is we shall spawn I suppose I'm going to have to create an actor here. Okay, whatever. We'll create an actor. Right, so we're going to put it in props. And we're going to create a blueprint. blueprint class, actor, BP, and we'll just call it portal, I suppose. We can change this around, but it can basically, we can start writing the code for it either way. Right, so basically we shall add static mesh, and we'll call it mesh, and we need something. I wish I had something, maybe actually, hang on a second, what have we got in starter content? I really want something that looks completely different for everything else. Close but no cigar. I wanted like a gold coin or something, you know, but apparently I haven't got a gold coin. Never mind. What have we got in here? As I say, I just want something that's pretty bloody obvious. Right, we'll have this. Right, and we shall lock that and then scale it to 2. Okay. And then we shall go back to our pawn chronicles, we shall delete that, and then we shall spawn actor from class, and we shall type portal, right. Then we shall do that. Then we shall split that and split that. That goes in there. That goes in there. And probably 0. Or we could say 130. 130 is about head height in this particular case, right? So sip of coffee, right? Right, and there is the portal-y thing. Now obviously it's not going to look like that, but that's the beginning. Right, let's see if we end up with it spawning somewhere outside. Right, where'd it go? Right, it looks like it's outside. Where is it? Are you at the start? Are you at the end? Are you over there? Apparently not. So where the hell is it? Right. Is there some... Right, okay, okay, okie dokie. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to check which piece this actually is. Right? To find out which pieces are actually causing the problem. Okay, there is our breakpoint. And it is layout room edge 4. Now, if I was to type edge 4, this is the piece that we're talking about. Now it's not going to highlight there, but we can see what the location is, and it's 1500 minus 850, right? Now, that would have been 1300, 1050. Right? Now, this is going obviously the wrong way. Now, here's the issue, I think. Right? You can see that these parts here are not in line. Right? So, these are starting with a different point of view, or a different XY start point relative. And I think that's what the issue is. Although it's kind of still doesn't make sense. Because if we take 200 away from the X and then add it to the Y, the maximum this should be is like here, right? That is basically what we're talking about here. Okay? So the other thing that I think it could be is the same as the issue before, right? Which is that our this part here, no, that is base layout part, right? But now, is this yeah, that is related to the same thing, right? Because that is there, so that's right. So like these should be the same, minus 200, 200. So the center of that should be here, right? which is also fine. Now it should not have this, but I don't think I've made that yet. So late floor, pick up minimap. Right, wait a minute. Yeah, this shouldn't be, it shouldn't be this. Right. What we should have right, first things first. We shall duplicate that. We'll rename it in a minute, right? But it's going to be room, then underscore edge. Hopefully I've got that the right thing. And then this is going to go in here, right? And then this is going to be deleted, and then we're going to be deleting this. Then compile that, then we go back to here and drop this in. And now that is correct. It shouldn't have the one down here. Okay, this was the type of thing I wanted to do today, just to tidy up some minor issues and stuff like that. I know there's more work to be done on these rooms, but that'll come. And what I'm going to do here is this light, well, the first thing is, why is it not lighting anything? But what we'll do, I'm going to be able to walk about outside here, right? So I'm going to throw a plane down. I want to see and we'll do -2. Okay. I want to be able to walk outside and find out where this statue goes. Right, but right, hang on a second. This plane should not be visible. Right, now I don't know if hidden in game is actually going to mean hidden in the game. Ah, there we go. Right, now why do we have no directional light? we have our thing there. Alright, so that's weird. We'll duplicate that. Then, yeah, that'll do. Right. And this is quite good because it's shown us the different problems. Right, so edge 3, okay? So where did it go? There, it's there. Right, now the question is that edge 3? That's turn 3. So where is edge 3? Apparently it's over here. Right? And that position was 300, 450. Right? So its final position should have been 500 minus 650. And that is not the correct answer. Right, so what we actually might need to do here, there's something going on with, I'm going to check the code in a minute. Right, so layout ceiling. What? You've got to be joking me. Okay. So I mean that was it there. It's a bit of a weird one. Okay. So basically what we're saying here is that I'm guessing BP ceiling and BP floor, these two are layout parts as well, and they are. which funnily enough shouldn't make any difference, right? Because the centre there is still 200 by minus 200, right? And then if we look at the floor, it should be exactly the same, right? And it is, okay? Whichever part it picks, the centre point is still the middle point. But wait a minute. Is it world location or is it relative location? This might be relative location, right? Because if you spin this 45 degrees, because it's actually here, right? Then the actual location will be here, but the relative location will be over here. Or at least that is my understanding of it. We'll try it anyway. Right, so we're going to split that. Actually, it's going to be the actor location plus the relative location. Right, I'm kinda get the relative transform. Okay, so there's something I need to work out here. But first of all, I'm going to go for a quick cigarette. I shall be back in 2 minutes. If you're enjoying the stream, hit like, subscribe, and I'll be right back. Check out the description for Discord, etc. Don't go anywhere, guys. Okay guys, we're back, and I've decided that what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to check. So here is your Champions League update. Real Madrid beat Celtic 5-1, and Shakhtar Donetsk got beat by RB Leipzig 4-0. I don't think it matters anyway because Real Madrid and Leipzig were both through, so yay or nay. And we have our standard bots for today, so let's get rid of that and report them, and that's that done. Right, so what I thought about doing here was that I'm going to actually draw, or I'm going to spawn all of the statues at every point. Right, so what I'm just going to do here is just going to say for each right now, I'm thinking here that I might need to put a little caveat on this, which basically says don't do it for the ceilings and the floors. Hi Some6, how are you? So if I do this, we should see statues pop up everywhere. Okay, and we can basically disable this for now and resume. Now we've got one there. We don't want to have one here. We do have one here and here. Right, and there's one there, but there isn't one there. There's not one there. There's not one at that corner. And there's not one here. So that's very strange, to say the least. Now, I'm wondering, are they in fact over here? And why is there no light? That's another question. Right, because I've got directional lights in this and they're not doing squat diddly. It's enough to start learning if you can work with the development the way it is. Okay, but what I would say is watch my video on why I don't use Unreal Engine 5. Right? And that should answer your question. As far as the laptop goes, laptop isn't really a big issue unless, well, I have something referring to laptops, right, which is basically Unreal Engine 5 runs 10 degrees hotter on my machine than it does Unreal Engine 4. So basically, and what you got to remember is there's nothing in Unreal Engine 5 apart from Lumen and Nanite that aren't in Unreal Engine 4. Because you got to remember it's based on the same code base, but go and watch my video on it, right? Why I don't use Unreal Engine 5 yet. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to not add the 200 etc. and see if we get the same result or not, and if we get them at the base position, and if it's the minus 200 200 that's killing it, right? And we get one there, and look at that, there isn't one there this time, but there is ones here. Right. We can do something here, because in theory we don't need to do base layout. All we need to do is floor. Right, and everything that has a floor which is basically every layout part, right? So that would make more sense. So we can delete that. We shall break that. We shall drag this down. Then this will go in here. We'll plug these back in. And we know that the floor should be this as well, but we'll do it here first. This is a weird one actually. Right, so everything with a floor, and they only have one floor each. Right. And right, it's only doing the center ones. So if that's the case, what I want to know is this room is 1, 2, 3, 4 by 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is 16 floors, right? Now I can only assume that there's actually two different types of floors. So if I type floor, there is only one BP layout floor. Right? But I might need to get components. so that I basically get all the correct components. But there should be 17 of these, right? So if this does not say 17, then I am going to call foul on something. Don't know what I'm going to call foul on yet, but I'm going to call foul on something. Right? I'm going to do play. There is a much easier way I could actually do this, by the way, by just adding target locations and then just picking one of the random target locations. And we did not break. We did not break. So we do need to get the components, right? Because this would be random, right? And kind of it wouldn't, no, it kind of would make sense. But what we could do, right, is we could actually add a target location, right? So what I could do here is hit, well, we have stopped right now. I don't know where. Target point. It's called a target point, right? So I could add the target points in the level manually, right? So let's say I duplicate this. Okay, let's say I get this target point and then duplicate it. Okay, now I could set these up as actors or whatever, but I don't think you can actually use a target point. Maybe you can, I can't remember, in a blueprint. Even though it wouldn't make any difference, because basically you could just do it as a scene component and then just use that location of the scene component to be a target point, right? But what I could do is basically that, right? And then what I could do is basically say target point. Okay. And then, yeah, that'll screw up again. So we do for each again here. And then for this we don't need any sort of recalculation. Right, but we can then put these target points into our level wherever we want, and we can basically make as many as we want as well. It doesn't really matter, right? So it's basically going to put us basically there, 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 or basically where I was. Ah, it's spawning me. Ah, it's spawning it there. Right, that's okay. That's what we want. Right, you'll notice it spawned one. Or, wait a minute. It should spawn 4. Right? Each target point should have a statue. Right, so there's 1. There's 2. There should be one over here. That's 3. And then there's one over there, 4. Right? So, what do you think, guys? Do you think I should use target points, or do you think I should use some sort of manual way of doing it? Or sorry, some sort of random way of doing it? Give me your answers on a postcard. I think we just keep it simple. Right? I think we just keep it completely simple. And what we'll do here is we shall delete that. Then that can go in there. That can get deleted. That can go in there. These two can get deleted. Okay, and basically that goes there. Okay. So in this instance, we can basically create the target points anywhere we want, right? And then this code is basically just going to stick it somewhere, and it's going to spawn this BP portal. Okay. Now, what we got here? Oh yeah. So this might not plug in here. Nah, it doesn't. So we just say get a copy, and we delete that, and we get that, and then that goes in there. And I'm going to delete that, and we need to do length for this one. And that goes to there. No, it doesn't. It goes to there. That gets removed. And that's it this time. Okay. So what we're doing here is we're going to spawn the portal, and basically what I want is I want keys or key and we'll make it NR. Nah, we'll make it O. We'll make it O, right? and if it's pressed, we're going to test this, right? So that allows us to test it in our bigger level. Okay. And from there, we can basically decide where we want to put this, right? And then we can actually develop what the portal is going to look like. Okay. So we can now go to maps, go back to our actual first level, right? And if we head back to the start, this is kind of the start, okay? We can actually add a target point here. Right? And we're going to add it there. So when we press play, right, we can hit O, and there we get our target point, our portal, right? So that's cool. And now we need to look at our target point, or our portal, sorry. And it's going to be a mesh. Now we could just have this just overlap only pawn. Okay. And then if we go back to our pawn, this is the part that does our level complete. Right, so all we actually need to do here, if we wanted, was put custom event, add a custom event, right, and put finish level. Okay, and then in here, just do that. Okay. And then in our portal, on our, we don't do anything here for the moment. We just click on our mesh and then do begin overlap. Right, and we just do has tag, and we say player, branch. And if it's true, we say get player pawn. We cast it to Pawn Chronicles. This is only getting called once, right? So it doesn't really matter whether we do it on begin play. We could set up a variable in this, but for the sake, it's only going to do it once. So here we're going to say finish level. Right? Okay. Pawn Chronicles. Compile that. Portal. Compile that. And now we should be able to go. Right? Right, so we should be able to just press O. That appears and bang. Okay. And that's us. Right, obviously that's not quite right. Or it doesn't look right because basically we're bypassing a lot of the stuff here. But logically that is correct. Now, what say you guys about we start them on a timer? We start them on a timer when they pick up the last thing that they need to pick up, right? And they need to get back to the portal before the timer runs out. What do you think? Now, we don't necessarily need to punish them, i.e. they don't finish the level, but it could be a scoring mechanism, right? So that time, say for example, give them a minute, right? Actually, what I should do is work on the other thing first, right? And that would mean that when we do this, we move the minimap camera, right, directly over what you've got to find, right? So what I'm saying here is, right, we have our target point, agreed? Now what we want to do is for the minimap to give you some sort of an indicator of where it is, where that marker is, right? So, for example, if we put, oh sugar, if we put our target pointer up here, that's going to be out, that's going to be out of the viewpoint of our minimap, right? Because basically at this point the thing on the end of the screen, or our final target, is up to the right to the northeast, okay? And the player won't know that, okay? So we need a way of showing the player quickly basically in which direction our portal is, okay? So what I'm suggesting is that we lerp the camera to the position of the portal and then back again. Okay? Now remember, we're only going to move actually, you know what we could do? We could add, no, that's probably going to cause us issues. I'm thinking we could change the camera from the standard minimap camera to the interesting. I don't know about this one, guys, but the best way to do this. Let's lerp it to the portal. Right, let's do that. So basically we're going to need a begin play, right? Because on begin play, so when this is created, we need to move the camera, right? So we can put this on begin play, right? On begin play, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Pawn Chronicles, right? And we're going to create a new event. So we're going to say custom event. We're going to add a custom event, and we're going to call it move minimap to portal, and we're going to have an input right, and we're going to say position, and it's going to be a vector, and then we're going to have a timeline. We're going to say TL move to portal, right, and let's say it's going to be 3 seconds long. It's going to be a float track, right? Then we'll see how this works out, right? It might work out crap and then we'll change it, but it might work perfectly fine. Right, and that's going to be 3, and that's going to be 1. And we're going to rename that to the alpha. Right, and then we go back to event graph, and we're going to lerp vector, okay, and we're going to be lerping to this position. And we're going to be lerping from and what we're going to actually do here is I'm going to create a variable so that when we do this we could actually do this in a function, except we can't really because it's a timey thing, so we can't really do it in a function. Oh god, I went and created the function. Right, we're going to be creating a variable here, player location, and that is going to be a vector. So we're going to save that. Okay. It's actually not going to be the player location when I think about it. Mini map camera location, and this is basically the starting point, right? So we want it at the same height and all the rest of it, so yeah. So when we start this, we're going to get this and set it, right? So we're going to set this, and it's going to be this thing here, right? And it's going to be location, and that's going to go in there, right? And basically this is where we start from, right? And that's where we end. And then on the update, we're going to be getting this again. And we're going to say set world location. And that is going to go there. Right, we are going to do a little bit more than that, because once we're finished, we're going to have to do a delay, and then we're going to have to send it back. Okay? So, in theory, so this is move minimap to portal. And again, we can get player pawn. Cast it to spawn Pawn Chronicles. And we're going to see how this actually works. Move. Is it what? Move minimap to portal. And do we actually need a position here? Actually, yeah, we do. And we're going to do self, then location, we're going to do that, but that requires a little change here, because basically we're not going to change the height, right? So we basically need to do that. Okay. And then we're going to split this. And we're going to split that. And X and Y are going to go there. Right, we'll do this again. And we shall, actually, you know what? We can delete that. We can save that. In the map, we can get that. And we can split that. And put Z in there. Right. let's try that. I've got no idea what's going to happen here, guys. None whatsoever. Right, so if I hit O, ideal. Worked perfectly. It was a bit slow. But it did work. We're going to cut that down to 2. And we're going to cut that down to 2. And 3 seconds actually might have been enough. Right? It's just because our target point is actually quite close. Right? Remember, all of the dots will be gone at this point. Right, there'll be no dots because basically you've cleared the level. Now, what I actually want to do here is I want to get my target point and I want to move it actually quite far away. Right, so let's say the target point was up here. Right, now obviously it's not in the map at this point, which actually wouldn't matter, right, for the sake of the minimap, but I suppose we'll just bring it into line. Is that a door? Right, that's a door. I need to fix that, either remove it or join it onto here somewhere or something. Right, but if I put the minimap here, the minimap's going to have to move a lot blooming quicker. Right, there's lots of exits up there. Right, so that's all well and good. Now, the issue here is I might have to do this as a relative. I might have to do this as a relative because when I lerp back the way, I'm going to have to lerp it back to a relative. Right? So I'm just wondering what the relative is going to say at this point, whether it's going to be miles off or whether it's actually going to be 0, 0. If I just move it, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check, right? That's the thing that makes sense to do. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say print I'm going to say print string, and I'm going to get this and I'm going to get relative get relative locate transform. Actually, I'm going to get relative location, right? And then we're going to split that, and then we're going to put in x, and we're going to see if it actually moves, right? When we move that camera away from the thing, right? So when we hit 0, we should start getting some numbers out. And it does. The relative position does change. Right? So we can use that. Well, I'm just wondering actually here. What does it start out as? And we've got this event tick here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this scene capture component. Then we're going to get relative location, and I'm hoping here that this does not change. If it does, we've got a bit of an issue. Right, so that is excellent news. Okay. And we can remove this now. Okay. And we can basically say custom event, right? And this is going to be return mini map to player. Okay. Now we could, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that, and we're going to do set timer by function name. Then we're going to put that in there, and we're going to make this 3 seconds, and it's not going to loop. Okay. Right, now some of this we'll copy, but some of it we won't. So I'm going to duplicate it. Right. we are going to get the relative location. Right? And that is going to go in as the starting point. And self location and this is actually going to be get actor location, and that is going to go in there. Then we don't do that. Okay. And now we can test this out. Ah, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's not required. We want 0, 0, 0. Right? Right, so we press 0. Okay, so that didn't work. So we will do self, and we will do actor location. Actor location. Right, we'll try that. See if that one works. Because that got a bit weird. Right, okay. Okay. I think I know what the issue here is. We're not setting the relative location here, so we're as well just getting the location. And we might actually need to set up or set it to that variable again. Now we are kind of lerping from a different start point each time, which I think is the thing that's causing the problem here. Well, that's quite good. Wait a minute. Okay, we're going to stop that for now. And let me have a look at this. It is 2 seconds. Right now, what I think's happening here is we need to set this. Yep, daisy. It's gradually speeding up because it's trying to alert between the two, but because this is changing, the A point is changing, then it's kind of screwing up. Right. So this should work better now. Right, so we move forward a bit, then we hit O, moves us there, moves us back, perfect. Okay, and on that guys, I'm going to call it for this afternoon. We shall be back at 8 PM Central. Hope you've enjoyed the stream. If you have, hit like and subscribe. Check out the description for the Discord. You're welcome to join there. And also ways to support the channel and support the game. Get new assets and stuff on Patreon, and my previous game on Steam, which is a tower defense game called FTD2. And thank you all for watching, and bye bye for now.